into week 8 through week 7 of the NFL, the top 10 quarterbacks. Let's go.
So, I mean, you could argue for starting at 1 here because there's more certainty at the top of the league than there is the bottom, but we'll hold true to our form here. We always start at 10 and go to 1 on most of the lists we do.
Yeah.
Again, we'll hold true on that. Number 10, I'll go Matt Stafford. I think when healthy, he still might throw the best ball in the league. I mean, no looks, touch, got some zip on the ball. There's a reason he was the most talented guy in high school, number 1 recruit. There's a reason he was the number 1 overall pick. Matt Stafford has talent, and he's getting his guys back. Cooper Kupp is healthy finally. Puka Nacua has been really, really good. They have a nice tight end. They leave a little bit to be desired in the run game department as well as up front. But I think in terms of quarterback talent and productivity with not a ton to work with, yes, wide receiver-wise, but complimentary football hasn't been solid thus far in LA. So I think Matt Stafford is a really, really nice quarterback. He lands at number 10.
I was going to say, he plays very well with what he has, right? Like, he might not be lacking in the weapons, but, everything else that you kind of need to get going in the league, offensive line play,
right,
run game, defense, like everything combined, he doesn't have the best setup. Now, it's not horrible.
No,
but
it's not bad.
He's doing very well for what he has.
Do we really think Puka Nacua is what he's been in many other places?
No, I mean, he's been elevated by Matt Stafford for sure.
And Sean McVay, I would say as well, yeah. Number 9, let's go Joe Burrow, because I think he's starting to rise, of course. The last 2 weeks they've looked better. They've won. They had a bye this past week. But there's still something not quite right, I think, with that ankle, with that Achilles or whatever calf. He's one of those where it wouldn't surprise me if he's number 4 or 3 on this list here in about 2 more weeks. But right now, I can't put him any higher. He's honestly on this list just because I know he's going to be better, because thus far he has not played at a top 10 level. But on any given third down, he's still the most efficient and most reliable situational quarterback in football. Mm-hmm. Even in these early weeks where they haven't been very good, he's still situationally brilliant, really accurate, really efficient.
Safe with the football, too.
Yeah, very, very good. Joe Burrow at 9. You could argue lower. I think he'll end up being higher in 2 to 3 weeks here, so Joe Burrow at 9.
I mean, I think a big thing about ranking quarterbacks is how they make you feel. Like, as a viewer, as a fan of the Bengals, whatever you are, when you're watching the game, you feel safe when Joe Burrow has the football for the most part.
100%.
You trust him, and I think 9 is a good spot for him at this point. Now, I think you're correct. I think he has the most potential to move up quickly.
100%.
Out of everybody else on this list.
Yeah, I would agree. Number 8, Jared Goff. Look, like him or don't, I don't really care. I think he's a fantastic quarterback. I mean, look, he might throw one of the best deep balls in football. He's a leader. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes. Good checks. It's the little things that you don't see, that don't show up on the stat sheet with Jared Goff. I mean, just watch the game and just see how good and how smart of a quarterback he is. If the screen's not there, he's darting the football. Justin Fields is going to throw it to the other team. Like, it's those little things. He keeps you ahead of the chains, keeps you on schedule. I know he didn't look good this weekend, and the entire team didn't look good, but from this weekend aside, he's been fantastic. I don't think he gets enough credit. He was the number 1 pick for a reason. He throws a really nice ball. Is he Mahomes outside the pocket? No, he's not. But is he a really, really solid NFL quarterback from the pocket? Yes, he is. He's fantastic from the pocket.
My argument would be, look at Detroit. Are they not worlds better today than they were before Goff?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say...
And they had Stafford, and Stafford's a good quarterback.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say that he's like the single-handedly responsible for turning this team around, because they did make a lot of changes. But I would say he plays a really, really big part
100%.
In turning the Lions around. And I think that's just... That alone is going to land you up this list.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Number 7, Jalen Hurts. Again, this is a lot like Joe Burrow. Should he be higher? Yeah, maybe. But if he quits turning the football over, he will be higher. Eight picks this year already. He had 6 all of last year. That's to go with, like, I think 4 or 5 fumbles. He's just turning the ball over. We're averaging almost 2 turnovers a game. That's just too much.
Right.
And for a team that's so talented, all you have to do is not make the mistake, right? Like, you can they're going to talent their way and toughness their way to so many wins if you don't give away possessions. Right now, if I said the Eagles lose, why? What's your first thought as to why they would have lost?
Either fumbles or picks.
It's Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts. He is right now the weak link. People talk about, Brock Purdy's the weak link of the night. Jalen Hurts is 100% the weak link of this team.
Yeah.
Like, easily. It's not that close. I still think he's great. I still would have paid him. But let's not act like he's playing good football right now by any stretch.
No, and the thing is, though, he's still winning while not playing.
No, and that's I guess I kind of just shit on the guy at 7.
I was going to say he's at 7.
So let me tell you why he's at 7. He's still dynamic with his legs. Still dynamic with his legs. Still a really good leader. Still winning football games. Still good enough with his arm. But he's just not higher because of the mistakes. But he's still been very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, winning football games in this league doesn't come easily. And I know that we just kind of crapped on the Dolphins a little bit last segment too. But at the end of the day, the Dolphins are a pretty damn good team. And if you can keep pace with them and that offense.
He played well.
100%.
I would agree. Number 6, Josh Allen. Same thing with Jalen Hurts. Stops turning the ball over. I
He's
feel like
making a lot of dumb reads too, though. I've seen him play the last
100%.
2 weeks. Oh.
I feel like I'm watching him. I feel like he's trying to recreate that playoff game against the Chiefs. Like, every play is just going for broke hero. I think he's just, in his head, he's just like, okay, it's the fourth quarter of that game. Like, it's not. It's the first quarter against the Patriots. You don't throw the ball into triple coverage.
On the first play.
On the first play from scrimmage. Dude, dirt the ball. Like, it just run. Like, if it's not there, take off. You're huge. Dirt the ball. Throw it away. Whatever. It just feels like he's doing too much.
Gotten in his head a bit.
But at the end of the day, he still is probably the most physically gifted quarterback in football.
Yes.
He still, as a passer, in terms of completion percentage, passer rating, he still grades out as a top 5 guy. And what he does with his legs has to be taken into account. So he's at 6. A lot of people would have him at 2 or 3. I don't think he's an MVP candidate. I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback in football. But I do think he's easily top 10. I think he's a very, very good talent. Big guy, can move, can make all the throws. So, yeah, 6 is fine.
He can definitely play his way into the top 5
100%.
throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah,
at this moment in time, no, he's not a top 5 quarterback.
If you said the next 5 years, I would not take him. I think there's 5 guys I would take ahead of them.
Yeah.
So, that's...
Fair enough.
Number 5, Tua. I know he didn't look good in Philly, but 5 out of 7 games, he has been historic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, leads the league in completion percentage, leads it in passer rating. I don't know what more you want from the kid. I mean, he's been really good. He's been really good. He's not making any mistakes.
Yeah.
And what he's been working with in terms of offensive line has been abysmal. He's good at the line of scrimmage. I like Tua a lot. It's just his health is the concern.
His health is the concern.
And against good teams, he does shrink a little bit.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he leads the league in passing yards. He leads
the
league in points scored.
You got to give credit where credit's due.
Oh yeah.
So we talk about the guys on the rise. He's gonna fall out of the top 5. I'll tell you right now. I don't view him as a top 7 quarterback.
I could see him. I think
he's going to end up somewhere around 8 or 9.
I could see him finishing the season at 8.
Yeah. But right now, he's played really, really well. You got to give him credit.
Yeah.
Number 4, Justin Herbert. I'm a huge Herbert supporter. I don't think he gets enough credit. I think the people bashing him right now just don't watch the games. Everything that they do well is related to Justin Herbert. Everything they don't do well is things that Brandon Staley or non-Justin Herbert named people have to do with. He's been really good in the red zone, really good on third down. I mean, sets records behind bad offensive lines. 2 of his top 3 targets are hurt in and out of the lineup every week. Austin Eckler hasn't been the same since he's come off the IR. It's just he's constantly dealing with stuff, and he's just setting records and being spectacular week in and week out.
Yeah, I mean, I like his play a lot. It's just very unfortunate all the different obstacles he has to overcome to play like that.
So if you're looking at
if you take the leash off of him and you get a good coach that knows what they're doing and you can really build around him,
if you're looking at a top 10 quarterback, what are the boxes you're looking for? What are the boxes you're looking to check? Smart, okay, 4.2 in college. I think he's pretty good. Yeah. I think he'll be okay. Big, he's like 6'5", 250. Can move? Yeah, he's hyper mobile. Like, can move really well, although he prefers to throw from the pocket. Yeah. That's exactly what you're looking for. Big arm, of course. Accurate, yes. Grown up, yes. Like, he checks every box. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Trevor Lawrence, number 3. Big, strong, can move, accurate, good leader. I mean, this team is in a rebuild, and they're 5-2. He's fantastic. I think he's obviously helped by a really nice coaching staff, but so is everybody. Name me the great Hall of Fame level quarterback that had a bad coach. They don't exist. Trevor Lawrence is that guy. He is every bit of the prospect that people thought he would be. I give it 3 years before he's in a Super Bowl. I think they're helped by a weak schedule, and he's taking advantage of it. Trevor Lawrence at 3.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, he's ripped off 4 straight very quietly. Not many people they're still weary and hesitant to give him credit, which is insane to me.
I mean, the performance on Thursday Night Football on the road on a bum knee, that was unbelievable. Lamar Jackson at 2. I think there's an argument that he's the MVP of the league this year, thus far.
This guy's playing his ass off.
Outside of that game against Pittsburgh, he has been fantastic. And actually, if you look at his game against Pittsburgh, he played really well. They just dropped like 7 passes. He played He had that one bad pick to Joey Porter Jr. in the red zone. Other than that, his offensive line shit the bed, and his receivers couldn't catch. But he has been fantastic this year.
Yeah.
There's an argument that he has been the best quarterback in football, and if the Patrick Mahomes wasn't around, he would be. Patrick Mahomes is number one. Look, I don't know what you want me to tell you. We're throwing a guy's named Rashee Rice. And he's succeeding. Outside of Travis Kelce, they have no number one. You could argue no number two level target, and he just keeps winning and keeps succeeding, keeps putting up numbers. Mahomes at 1.
Looks really good. And I mean, that's not going to change for a while.
No. Stafford at 9, or Stafford at 10, Burrow at 9, Goff at 8, Hurts at 7, Josh Allen at 6, Tua at 5, Herbo and Lawrence at 4 and 3 respectively, Lamar at 2, and number 1, Patrick Mahomes. That makes a ton of sense.
Love it. That is the top 10 quarterback list. It is now